Happy Halloween, everyone. And today I had trouble coming up with a video to do for you guys. And I've had a couple of reviews I wanted to do. And we're not going to do a real in depth one on this one that we're going to talk about today. But being it is this one of my favorite seasonal movies, and today is Halloween, I thought we'd talk about a movie that it was the first in the franchise that I saw. And this franchise has a lot of installments. This was the first entry that I saw. Little 8-year-old Etep. It really, outside of the original entry to this franchise, is my high watermark. And those of you that know me know which movie I'm speaking of. And that is none other than
Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
Maybe nobody knows how to stop him.
Now, Halloween 4 has, and I'll start it out by saying I grew up in the Midwest in a very rural area, and this one has the absolute best opening sequence outside of probably it's debatable, but like for the Halloween aesthetic, I think that part 4 is the absolute best. I'm not taking anything away from the jack-o'-lantern entrances for like number 1 and 2, even. I like part 3, but part 4 really is somebody who grew up in that kind of area. I love the aesthetic to that and just the eeriness of it. And it looks just fantastic. So I absolutely love that. Another thing I liked was George Wilbur. Is he the best? No, he's not Nick Castle. Even Dick Warlock is great. I thought Wilbur did a good job, and he even came back for part 6, which we talked about already in a video that'll be linked in the description to this one. So we have that, and of course you get Donald Pleasance coming back, and I know a lot of people are, well, Michael burned up, there was flames coming out of his eyeballs in part 4, or in part 2, and the ending sequence to that, which I like. I'm kind of a defender of Halloween 2. I know it gets just a lot of heat for the added storyline of Laurie being Michael's sister and whatnot, but I kind of personally like it. I don't have any hate towards that. My only hate towards the Halloween franchise is directed at Rob Zombie and David Gordon Green. But we talked about the David Gordon Green trilogy in my trilogy of reviews by Cleveland Brown, which you can check those out in the horror reviews playlist. So Ellie Cornell is Rachel, great character, your new Laurie Strode, and the thing that bothered me about Rachel's character was how they did her dirty in part 5, which is that's the most boring entry into this entire mythos would be Halloween 5, Revenge of Michael Myers. Now, this one plays it very close to the original. Beat for beat, a lot of things, but it effectively brings Michael Myers back after Halloween 3, which I have no malice towards Season of the Witch. It is a fantastic standalone movie. I appreciate, now that I'm older, what they were trying to do with it in terms of the franchise and moving into the anthology territory. But it's like Back to the Future. You're not ready for this, but your kids are going to love it. So that's where Season of the Witch is. But no, Halloween 4, very effective in bringing Michael back. You got Dr. Loomis, and we wouldn't have, if we didn't have this movie, we wouldn't have the awesome scene with him and the Reverend in the truck. Yep, where would we have been without Reverend Jackson P. Sayer in his quest to stop evil? Damnation. Almost caught the bastard a time or two. I mean, this guy was great. That scene with him and Loomis in the truck when he picks him up on the side of the road after Loomis's hopes for a ride with the cheerleaders were spurned as they were like, ew, no. But no, it was a great scene. Carmen Philby was a great character actor. Those of you remember old school, You're My Boy Blue. Yeah, that was him. But no, this was a cool scene. And I believe it was like Fanzine did a video, the creators were talking about a movie or a concept about Reverend Sayer and that would have been like a younger him, which a lot of people be like, I think it would have been cool. He was a fun, the ambiguity of the character and what he's been through is obviously there, but I thought this was just a cool segment and a very fun character. He gives Loomis a drink, and, he starts singing at the end, and it's just a cool scene in a movie with a lot of death. It gives you kind of a smile.
The beautiful, beautiful river, gather with the saints at the river.
Bo Starr did a great job as Sheriff Ben Meeker, and his daughter, Kelly, is involved in that love triangle with Rachel and Brady, who works at the Five and Dime, like the drugstore, where she takes. Now, this is a new character, which I haven't talked about Danielle Harris's character of Jamie yet. And Danielle Harris now, all these years later, is a bona fide scream queen. She is a pillar of the horror community. She was in the Rob Zombie Halloween movies, which I don't fault you, Danielle. Talented actress, and she was great as a kid actor in these. Her character was good. Okay, in these. All right, let me beep back the truck up a little bit. They really did her dirty in part 5, and then they recast and aged her up for part 6, which they could have used. Actually, Danielle could have done that, but never mind. Dimension and all that, never mind. Back to part 4. No, her character, the Carruthers family adopts her, takes her in. It was a good addition. It worked. She had that link to Michael, which we got in part 5. But, he was after her in this one. The opening sequence, and I'm kind of skipping around here, but the scene, the opening to this, the scene where they're picking him up from the sanitarium, doing the transfer. Of course, why wouldn't you do the transfer on this night of all nights, right? You get the scene in the psychiatric ward where, hey, God ain't got nothing to do with what goes on down here. He comes, wakes up. He's been in a coma for 10 years. He wakes up when he hears the 2 paramedics talking about, he has a niece, he has a living relative, he has a niece in Haddonfield. Boom, thumb to the forehead, just, it was fantastic. Ramming his head to there, and I wish we would have got more of the kills in the ambulance because there was 2 paramedics up front, the driver and another guy up front, which I wanted to see. I wanted to see what happened because when we see Loomis get there, it's just there's blood all over the outside of the ambulance, which I'm like, holy shit, like, how did all this blood get on the outside of the ambulance, because they said the bodies were, strewn everywhere. I don't know, did, one of the drivers survive and he, just slammed him against the stab him with a blunt object or something? The ambiguity of it was really cool, and it left it open, and this is my brain working. How exactly did that play out? And that's always been something I've wondered about. The scene at the gas station outside of Haddonfield, where Loomis has the run-in with Myers, is absolutely kick ass. Loomis shoots at him. He gets the coveralls. That's, all the things that happen in this movie are in service of things that need to have, he has to go to the gas station to get, his coveralls. He, blows up the gas station, Loomis's car, to take out the fucking phone lines, which is cool. There's everything is in service of, which it works, I didn't really find it contrived at all. I thought it worked well, it did its job, and it was an enjoyable movie. I liked the cat and mouse game with, Jamie and Michael and Rachel, and the scene in the house. Now, the Haddonfield Police Department is not the best. Of course, they all get wiped out in this one. Then we have, the gang, Earl and his rednecks from the bar. Like I said, I'm kind of jumping around here, but I really enjoy this movie. And that was always one of my favorite scenes, when the crazy drunk rednecks are running around the town, and they see the bushes move, and they just, it's coming right for us, and just bap bap bap, and shit, Earl, it's Ted Hollister. It's like, man, and at the end of this, it's never addressed. Did Ted have a family? What was going on with Ted? But no, so it kind of breeds into that mob mentality thing. But and the Sheriff Meeker says something to Loomis about you started a lynch mob, and he doesn't have a police department. They're waiting for the state troopers to get there, and so in the meantime, these guys are all they've got. I'll get killed by Myers in the truck, which is a great scene. I always loved that scene as a kid. It's one of my favorite sequences going in the end of the movie. Not to mention the rooftop pursuit. Ellie Cornell actually got injured during that because, and I learned this by watching another video. It was the Joe Blow horror one. But they built the roof very close to the ground. But Ellie Cornell allegedly, cut her allegedly. She did cut her torso on a nail. Yeah, we come into the truck scene at the end where they're leaving the town. They get them from the school. They're going to take them to the outpost where the state police are as the other cops are headed into town to go after Michael. Unbeknownst to them, he's on the back of the truck, slowly starts picking the guys off one by one. The driver, which I believe was Earl, he realizes that he looks and he gets that wide-eyed look, and he knows everybody's gone, and that hand just comes through, and there's the throat rip. The effects on that were just, it was on. His neck, you see the just gushing blood. That was a great favorite. Somebody screen cap that. It leads to Rachel taking over the truck and, tossing Michael off, running him over, ramming him with the truck, and him getting blasted down the mine, which, in part 5, the beginning retcons them throwing dynamite down, which blasts, send him down river, and he ends up with the hermit. But Jamie, touches his hand before they do all that, and that's the transfer of the evil, or, that is the beginning of their psychic connection. But some evil, obviously, as we get the scene with Jamie and her, stepmom. At the end of this movie, she's got the mask on, and Loomis goes to shoot her. Meeker grabs the gun, and she's staying at the top of the stairs. Brilliant ending. Fantastic. Especially, they did the point of view shot with the mask and her walking into the bathroom with the scissors. It did it right. That's the thing about this. It did it right, and that's why I enjoy this movie so much. It mirrors the original in good ways and adds more to it in the form of characters like Rachel and Jamie. Sheriff Meeker, which I liked Bo-Star. Even what's his name, Sasha Jensen, that played Brady. And George Wilbur was good as the Shape. So I like this one. Danielle Harris was great. Ellie Cornell as Rachel. Yeah, solid movie. And I don't know if we'll ever talk about. We'll probably end up talking about part 5 at some point. We talked about Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, in another video, which was kind of an informal review of it. These were just some of my thoughts on Halloween 4, which I really, really enjoyed. Think it's fantastic, and I recommend it. If you're a fan of this franchise, and you're new to it and you've never watched Halloween 4, I recommend it. You definitely put that on your watch list tonight. Before the night is over, I will watch that. So just a kind of a fun, off the cuff, my thoughts on Halloween. 1988's Halloween 4, which did perform well at the box office, and which led to Halloween 5, Revenge of Michael Myers, being greenlit so quick, and it would come out 1 week shy of a year after this movie's release. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you guys. Welcome all the new subscribers. I hope to keep the momentum going. If you're here for the horror, folks, rest assured it is not going to stop after today. We are just going to keep going with this stuff because I have a review of Hell House, Carmichael Manor, coming out very soon. So thank you, everybody. I'm Etep from The Place to Be Reviews. I've been here with all of you. If I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow. Thank you to all my channel members. You will be played out right after I'm done saying I will catch you on the next one.
Don't you even think about leaving. Don't try that Halloween shit with me.